Howdy dudes, here with another build overview. This one from Lois. He says that just looking for some general comments and tips about equipment, not too sure what gear to get next. This might be a little too zoomed in, so let's zoom out a little bit. And let's get started. So first of all, let's go with your Tempest Flurry. Looks like a really good setup. Your Charge Staff. Frost Nexus. I don't think you need Chilled Ground too much. You're going to be chilling everything already because you got I Am the Blizzard. So that one might be something that you'd be willing to swap out. Lightning Infusion isn't bad if you don't have too much. Yeah, you don't have like a fire damage against the darkness or something like that. So this is probably doing some work for you. Perpetual Electrocute. You don't have Neural Overload in there, so I'd say drop Frost Nexus for Neural Overload. That's probably your best way to go. With your Tempest Bell, you got really nice setup so far. Concentrated Effect, Immolate, Font of Mana. I don't think you'll really need Font of Mana because increased mana regenerate doesn't really scale the best. If you're going to use anything trying to get mana, you should probably get like Mana Leech if you have any bit of physical damage really. And I see you got Rising Tempest in there, but you're not running you're not running Avatar and you're not running Elemental Invocation. I think we can make that better by swapping Cast on Critical with Elemental Invocation, but we'll get to that in a bit. First of all, your Hail to Thunder, you got Cold Infusion, Glaciation, Ice Bite, Ambush, and Long Shot. That looks perfect. Your Held Device. Don't think you need Coursing Currents, but I mean, it's probably better than Conduction. Oh, you got Conduction too. So you got Innervate, Conduction, Leverage, Shock Safe, and Coursing Currents. I think you would do better off to get one of either Conduction or Coursing Currents, your choice, replaced with +1 to cold skills. I feel like that would do a little bit more. Does more damage, doesn't cost you any more mana. It's kind of nice. I see you got the Wind Dancer tech going, so Maim, Blind, Unbreakable, and Inevitable Critical. Inevitable Critical is wonderful on this, same with Unbreakable. Unbreakable would also go really well on Charge Staff. You could probably drop Frost Nexus if you wanted to, and potentially put uh, really any sort of damaging node or any of that kind of persuasion. Maybe putting, well, you have Blind, but you're not evasion at all. So blind isn't going to be doing too much for you, but maim will be really nice because when the knockback happens, it'll be slower to get back to you. Breakable is really nice because you're less likely to get stunned on the hits that it hits you, and inevitable critical is really nice because it actually pops things with Gunshin. You could probably get a better damaging node in here. Just a single one would feel pretty nice and help take things out at close range. Don't get Elemental Focus unless you're going to use it for Simulacrum specifically, because that will make it so you can't freeze, which will make it so that Herald of Ice doesn't chain proc. Now with Combat Frenzy, you got good nodes on there. Grim Feast is great. Cast on Critical setup with Pierce, Deceleration, Scattershot, and Impetus. I do not like Pierce. You generally don't want Pierce. You'd want Chain, so that way when it bounces off the bell, it would also hit the boss, or bounce off the boss and hit the bell. I like Chain more than Pierce, but it's honestly kind of a nitpick. I like Charge Infusion. So because you have Rising Tempest on Tempest Bell and you're not using Avatar, I really think you should drop Cast on Critical with Elemental Invocation. You can have Elemental Invocation essentially cast itself every second or so if you wanted to, and then it would help you out quite a bit with casting your Eye of Winter all the time, and it'll also make it work better in maps and against bosses instead of just... It's the same as Cast on Critical, but you're going to be saving 30 Spirit doing it that way. And since you're also running Combat Frenzy, another thing that you could Charge Infusion with Combat Frenzy, I imagine you have Resonance. Yeah, you're running Resonance, so you don't need to worry about it. One thing that could be nice for your defensives is to toss Profane Ritual on here instead of the Pierce. Potentially instead of Deceleration or Scattershot, but I like Deceleration and Scattershot quite a bit for this. So I'd say drop Pierce, put on Profane, so that way when it goes in maps, it gives you an Endurance charge, because that's what Resonance does, and it'll give you a nice defensive boost potentially. I think you might like that. I bet you're already immediately nuking the bell, so yeah. You've got the rotation in there of just go and zoom, place bell and kill, 100% you got it. That is why I'm thinking Font of Mana isn't the way to go, and having Elemental Invocation would help you out a lot. Even if you automate it, you can slow it down to like every second or 2 seconds or however often you want, and then it'll help you with your mana problems a lot. Now onto your gear. or I guess I should read your notes here. I didn't even see that you had notes. Added variants to the build, evasion ES versus superior ES. Your passive tree, you have the heroic tragedy. Make sure that if you use it, it will also give you natural energies to have 40. You don't need to make sure you have natural energies. It's just a nice plus. Don't look for that 100%. And yeah, there we go. You have some pretty nice comments on here. I don't think you have anything wrong with anything in there. Destroy your mana pool by just spamming 100%. This build is somewhat an ungame version without Astromentus for sure. You have 260 spirit for this to work. How do you have 260 spirit? That's kind of nuts. Let's see, how good is your chess piece? You have a really, really nice chess piece. Okay, so we got to go into your gear now. This is a ridiculously nice chess piece. It would be really nice to have an extra res on there, but that is a really, really nice chess piece. So fantastic job. You got the right staff. You got a really nice set of gloves on there too. If you have the currency, it'd be nice to get this to either 4% attack speed per 25 dex or 1 to 12 lightning damage per 10 int. Both of those would be nice little upgrades, but that's definitely no rush. It's a pretty minor gain, all things considered. You got a nice ingenuity belt. You could probably get that a little bit higher, but it's really good for right now. And these boots, it's unfortunate that they're armor energy shield. Armor is the worst one that you can get. If you could go pure energy shield or evasion energy shield, those would be better for your build. They work a little bit better, but the tri-res on here is really nice, and the movement speed is nice. Also, you got the 116 to mana, which probably gives a little bit of quality of life, but if you could just slap on an int on there for if you got 30 int, it would give you 60 mana, which is very, very similar, but then it also gives you massively increased damage and quality of life AoE from the staff here. So I feel like these boots would be, of what I've seen so far, the first to be replaced. It sucks because the resistances are so very, very nice. Let's just see if you got anything else on there that's more likely to be replaced. This ring is beautiful. It's a shame that it doesn't have flat cold or flat fire. Yeah, you don't have flat cold on here, but hopefully that flat physical is giving you enough to get the dual charge tech. Like, you got 2 flat physicals. Maybe that is giving you enough low end damage to get the cold hits off, but I doubt it. It would be nice if you could get the cold on there for sure. This ring is also quite nice. These are honestly fantastic rings. This one here I like a lot. This one don't plan on doing anything with. This one here is probably the one you'd want to swap off, the one on the right here, because the lightning damage is doing a little less for you than the fire damage, because the fire damage is helping you get the bell ignited, and same with the enemy. But still, this is a very, very, very good ring. So, yeah, I've already looked at the body armor. You got Astromentus, so you're probably just rolling and everything. And this helmet is kind of fantastic. Actually, really fantastic. Again, the energy shield for sure is a little bit low on the boots and the helmet here. But you got the big rarity, which probably feels really nice for mapping, and I doubt you want to actually swap it. And your chest piece is it's huge, so it's doing some serious work. Now you have the evasion ES, where you got a really nice energy shield helmet. I assume if you're doing the pure energy shield helmet, you're getting subterfuge mask if you're going evasion ES. And then you got the pure evasion chest piece. This is pretty nice. It can get quite a bit higher though. I think you want around 2030 or 2040 evasion to get a really nice breakpoint for being able to use all your skills. But this thing, it has everything you want. It's got the big dex roll in the bottom, it's got the cold and lightning res, and it's got the big everything down below. You might just need to hope to corrupt it to get a implicit for evasion or a 5th socket or a 3rd socket, but that is asking a lot. I know I had a chess piece that looked almost exactly like this, and that's what I did, and I got lucky, but not everyone's going to get lucky. That is not something I would say you definitely have to do. And these boots are much nicer than your other boots. If you own these, just put them onto this build. Drop these boots off and put them here. These are amazing, amazing boots. I'm surprised the energy shield is... Oh, it's because it's a low base. That's unfortunate. It's a level 65 base. But still, these are going to last with you for a long time. These are really incredible boots. With your amulet, did that change? Yeah, you had Astromentus there. That's weird. But here, the 50% max energy shield is great, and same with the evasion rating. I don't know if you actually have this, because these are unbelievably beautiful. Did you just craft like the perfect amulet? I'm not too sure. But if this is the stats you got, that's nuts. And yeah, if you got the currency for all this, instead of anointing vulgar methods, get spaghettification on both of them, it would be better than vulgar methods, even though vulgar methods is amazing. Yeah, and now on your jewels here, this is again a fantastic jewel. Max energy shield, crit chance, crit. Yeah, I think you rolled like the highest possible. Is this like a theory? Or are these actually your jewels? Either way, they don't have corrupted attributes, which is unfortunately almost essential. But getting maximum energy shield, critical hit chance are wonderful. Then try to get it with enhanced stun threshold based on your energy shield. That gives just a wonderful amount of quality of life. The critical damage bonus is like the top tier of everything below those three, especially with also having attributes on top. It's more important to have the attributes than it is to have the elemental damage or the critical damage bonus, and also the utility of the stun threshold is more important as well, especially with pure energy shield. When you have the evasion on there, like having this, just the boots on there, and maybe like a split evasion and energy shield helmet would do a lot of work for you. But as it stands, I do like your setup. These boots are probably the first thing that needs to go, unfortunately, because those res are just so nice. But yeah, you got great gear, really great gear. I don't have too many complaints about it, but your jewels here, these are definitely just typed on jewels. You got a crazy against the darkness, strength dex, strength int is technically more damage, strength and like a flat lightning would be the most damage but less utility than strength int, and strength dex is the most speed, so that probably feels really nice. You got a large metamorphosis, a heroic tragedy, and this time lost sapphire is nuts. Maximum energy shield, hit, crit chance, crit damage. Yeah, that's nuts. Let's see your tree. Your tree putting everything together. I like the way you pathed. You came up here for the increased attack speed. I see that you got a time lost sapphire here. So checking all this out, I don't know if this is actually what it is going to be there. Based on your notes, I assume you got the 40% energy shield, or maybe 4% lightning, and then extra int as well. Like either of those are good. And then you got your against the darkness here. First thing I see, if this is actually your gear, I kind of doubt it's perfectly that, because it's just way too good of gear. First things first is you'd swap the against the darkness with the time lost sapphire, because here you got 1, 2, 3, 4 notable nodes, but then this here takes the notables and also the small passives, whereas this is 1, 2, 3, 4 as well notables, but it only does notables. And then it also has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 small passives that your time loss could be using, while this is only taking advantage of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 3 more small passives that you could be getting for more maximum energy shield. And I mean, the trigger spell damage doesn't really matter, but that's 9% increased maximum energy shield. That's what you'd be getting from an entire jewel, essentially. Your tree does look really good. I don't see any errors in there popping out. I don't know. It's also a level 100 tree, so it's kind of hard to talk about. I don't know if you're actually level 100. But yeah, as I see there for the general overview, you have a couple of the supports here to change around. I'd say drop cast on critical with elemental invocation to save 30 spirit, and to actually charge your rising tempest. Drop Font of Manta for, well, you could use a variety of things. You got close combat, you got concentrated effect, immolate. I mean, you could put primal armament in. Potential would probably be the best. That way, you're not really wasting any slot for anything. And yeah, it's just gonna feel really, really good for you. Unfortunately, you won't be able to get the power charges before the boss fight, so it might be a little bit difficult to get the first power charge on the bell, but everyone after that would be good. With that said, though, since you are rocking Astromantis, you're probably nuking the boss on the first bell, so potential might not be it for you. You may honestly want Hourglass then, 40% more damage, and first bell will just destroy it. But it does give it a 10-second cooldown, so if you're wanting to spam the bell, that won't work for you. But yeah, if this is your setup, this is some really good gear. I think you've done well building your character. I'm not too sure what else to comment on here. You seem to have the Evasion ES node as well. Let's check that one out. For the Evasion ES, probably a better way to path this would be to save these two nodes, but then spend the nodes coming down here. That's like 5 nodes, I know, but you'd also get this jewel socket. It might be quite nice. Well, actually, no, because you're rocking with the time lost here and the Against the Darkness here. That's not the best way to go about it. You have the pure evasion chest, but you're not coming up for spectral ward for the big evasion or big extra boost to energy shield. You have on here the pure energy shield helmet. Sure, it's not the best. You could get like a 500 energy shield pure helmet. If you wanted an absolute best in slot, you'd have to drop the mana, obviously. But if you did that, you'd be able to get spectral ward for another big boost to your energy shield. It'd be quite nice, quite helpful. I think that might be better for you. Your large ring is hitting escape velocity, which I'm surprised I didn't know it would. I thought that was mid-large only. So overall, yeah, your tree is set up well. I think you could definitely improve a few things in here for this evasion energy shield. Because, like, for one, you're not coming up here for enhanced reflexes, and if you're going to be doing evasion base, you need to get this. You absolutely require this. You would need 1, 2, 3, 4 more points, and the first 3 I would see would be dropping here, which are wonderful points to get. It just sucks. The other thing is you drop these 2 definitely because you have a pure evasion chest. Depending on how much energy shield you have, you might need to drop all of these, which sucks because insightfulness is so good for this kind of build. But you're a little bit point starved. If you're going to be doing this evasion ES, I think you're going to have to do the tech that I showed in my more recent video, where you save all of this pathing by getting a Iron Reflexes from nothing and a Megalomaniac to give you Jack of all trades. Without that tech, you are seeming to be a little bit starved here, because you do need to come up here, get Spectral Ward. You should drop these, probably path down here to get Enhanced Reflexes, and try to get Subterfuge Max to go with your pure energy shield as well, helmet. Alright, that should be everything. You guys have a good time.